What's going on, everyone? Matt here for another epic podcast episode. I've got an awesome guest with me today. So we've got Craig from Focused Health and Body Transformations. He actually is relatively local to me, actually, so not too far from where I live. So how are you today, Craig?
I'm good. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me on today.
No worries, champion. So we've obviously we've been friends on social media for a little while. Like obviously you would have seen my journey because I was pretty much the suburb beside you when I was growing my PT business.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've obviously had some pretty awesome success in the industry, both on your personal journey but also business wise. So I'm super keen to dive in. But for those who don't know who you are, do you want to give us a bit of a summary of who you are, where you're located, what type of stuff you do in the industry?
Yeah, sure. So Matt's already introduced me. My name's Craig. So I own Focused Health and Body Transformations in Narangba, a little suburb on the north side of Brisbane. Working with obese, overweight people, trying to get their life back, but generally in pretty messy situations, let themselves go. We're working probably range about 25 to 50 years old. Semi-private, out of the garage at my home. So nice and close and intimate, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I definitely wanted to get you on because it's a different perspective from being in a gym where you obviously have to pay rent and stuff or having your
Yeah,
own gym. So it's a different scenario. But do you want to run us through I suppose how you got into the industry? Because you've got a bit of
yeah,
a story there.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, I do. So I'll try and punch through this real quick and won't try and ramble on too much. So I guess it all started like Laura and I, like we're sort of childhood sweethearts, and my wife as well is in the business now. We'll get to that in a bit. That will roll into what's happening here. So 2010, we got married. I've known Laura for a long time. We met each other. I was 19, out of school. Laura was 17, still in school. She's now 41. I'm now 44. So we've known each other for a very long time. Mucked around a little bit when I was young. I was always the one mucking around. But we got married in 2010. I was always big, yeah. Always well over 100 kilos. I was sporty, like I held it well. Still 6 foot, like held it pretty well, but I always felt chunky. Got a lot of shit in high school for how big I was. So yeah, we got married in 2010. 2013, we had our first baby, Lily, my oldest. And we got to that point. Lily had just finished, Laura had just finished her pregnancy, and we were both huge. Like she was big, I was big. And I think I was about 113 kilos at that point. So I was big and over it. So 2014, we started the fitness journey. Started accumulate. We had a treadmill and an elliptical machine all the time because cardio was the thing that was going to help burn all this fat off.
Yeah.
So we used to just flog ourselves on that, and no nutrition, nothing like. Just kept doing the same shit with the nutrition. So was yo-yoing for a long time. Started to acquire some equipment. Well, once we started to do a bit of research, we started to get the Celsius barbell, got a little bench, started to put that in between. Still didn't get rid of the elliptical and the cardio and stuff. But you got some mats down in the garage. Started to get a little section of space in the garage. Started to lift, do bench press. Started to incorporate some iron into our what we were doing.
Nice.
2016, we lost the weight. We still weren't really weight training, like didn't really sort of have any idea with the weight training, heaps of cardio. We started to venture into like the 7-minute workout. That was a thing about 10 years ago. And the Freeletics was another one that we got really into. God workouts made us super fit. That was like, so you got a time limit to do 50 push-ups, 50 squats, and 50 ball slams or something. And you just get better at doing that time. Anyway, they were God workouts and got us quite cardio fit. Laura was doing stuff like watching Kayla Encinas. She was big back then. A couple of years ago, Michelle Bridges. And then 2016 was the next bub. So we sort of got traction, and then the next bub came. We weren't really like, we're still doing a lot of dumb shit. We're still lost the weight, but we were still yo-yoing at that point at 2016. So at that point, 2017, I was doing night shift. I did a lot of stuff randomly when I was young, worked in cooking, did some car detailing, just did random stuff. Didn't really have anything I was set on. And then fell into traffic control. And that was doing night shift, because that's where the money was. The money for the day shift, I wouldn't wake up for that amount of money. You were getting paid to stand in the pissing hot sun for like 9 hours holding a stop bat. Yeah, like it was ridiculous. I don't know how these guys do it. But night shift was the go. We're starting at 4 p.m, not getting home till 6 a.m, like huge shifts, working on the road at night, like fatigued, hardcore. So we had a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 3.5-year-old, new bub. So then 2017 came, started to study, because I did start to, traffic was not going to be what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Like it's not sustainable. It was too hard. Like we shouldn't be awake at night, man. Like we're not nocturnal. We sleep during the night and we wake during the day. It was just really messy. And like following these big people online, fit influencers and stuff, saying if you can stop doing night shift, stop doing night shift. Like that's number one. If you can't, like nurses and stuff, you feel for these people, but they're all generally on rotating shifts. Like they won't always be on night shift forever. Where traffic control, if you're on night shift, until you stop doing traffic control or you want to go to days, you're doing night shift. So we don't get a roster. It's always nights. Yeah. So it took its toll. Had good success. Got to my lightest ever, doing stupid shit like keto and paleo and stuff like that. Did all the stupid shit, running around kilometers and kilometers, pushing 2 kids in a pram. Still on the cardio train, trying to do night shift, trying to do shit. Trying to find out like how to do this. Anyway, started to get some momentum. Decided to study PT in 2017. Finished that in 2018. Had a really good face-to-face mentor as a part of the course. You've got to do your 6 weeks or 8 weeks of 3 days at the gym, face-to-face with a mentor. He was awesome. He was like full into his rehab and stuff. So he was a great mentor, learned heaps off him. So I was doing all that study through 2018 while still trying to do night shift and support a family. Mid 2019, Laura lost her job. She got laid off, sort of got into what are we going to do? I didn't really want her to go back to work. So I was really heavy in the night shift. We moved houses, made a bit of money on that. And then I had a motorbike, so we sold that and decided to start setting up the garage, decking it out, floors, mirrors, cage, dumbbells, kettlebells, every single thing. So from the house, we actually made a bit of money. We paid off all our debt. And then the bike, technically we owned, so we sold that. And then that paid for decking out the gym and the garage. So yeah, got a awning over the driveway, just little thing, got a shed built, moved all the shit out of the garage. So we had the space to get this gym happening. Mid-late 2019, started to train some friends and family for free. Starting to get experience writing new programs, sorted mum out down at the park with her stuff. She wanted to do a bit of stuff. Just started to help friends and family get a little bit of experience writing programs, get them some results and stuff. That all started to happen really well. So that was good. So then 2020, Focused Health and Body Transformations was born. Okay, so we created a website, we got the Google search planted, we got internet presence. We started to, we used Bark. I don't know if have you heard of Bark? Yeah.
Yeah, I've used Bark. Did you get one flare as well? Have you heard of that one?
We did get one flare. We had pretty good success with this stuff, and I got the first initial clients through. So we got the first clients in January 2020. Had another new baby. He was the COVID baby 2020. That was the third one now. So January 2020, we all know then COVID hit. So we just started to get new clients. Gym was set up. We were starting to get a few clients in. I was coming home at night shift at 4 a.m., trying to stay awake to do my first 6 a.m. clients. So going to this question after this of the struggles we went through. This was the shit, like getting home at 4 a.m., trying to like hold the eyes open from doing a night shift, trying to stay awake so I could do my first couple of clients at 5 a.m. or 5:30 and then go to sleep and then wake up at 2 p.m. So new bub, COVID hit, just, yeah, lucky. And I say this to everyone, say this to all my clients, that things happen for a reason. And I didn't shut down night shift. We weren't that confident. So I kept night shift on the side. I did shorten my hours, but they were always willing to just throw me hours whenever I need them. So as COVID hit, with the clients I did have, I didn't move online and do any of that stuff. I said, I'll be down in the park. I'll be doing my workout. If you'll just happen to be down there and just run up that hill over there and do some ball slams at the top and then come back down and do some body weight squats. And yeah, if you just happen to be in that area, then, we'll just social distance and we'll just do that. So kept a little bit of money, kept the clients I had. That was all good. And then once they started to release the lockdowns and shit like that, we moved forward. Still doing traffic at that point. Mid 2020, we started to ramp up again. It's really started to tone down the hours of traffic control, almost to like 10 to 15 a week. It was just this level of like ramping up the business and still doing traffic. So still supporting the family, still making ends meet with the money. Mid 21 was complete letter of resignation. Talked to Laura. We're going all in. We're just going to make this work. It's done. I can't do traffic anymore. We need to do what we can to make this business work. If we have to eat stew and rice, then that's what we're doing. So we had a bit of problem with the lead gen. So Bark wasn't, like, we were pretty much only really using Bark and we were winging it for a little bit. We got a few referrals at that point. It wasn't great. So then I'm like, what are we going to do? We started to struggle a little bit, started to get a bit scared that we weren't picking up the clients that we needed to survive. So I picked up Uber Eats, was going out a couple of nights a week to deliver Uber wanted to drop business cards in the bags and stuff. But
oh man, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, it was good, man. And like, look, it's a mudski. You really got to do a lot of deliveries, but you get out there and they have like they do with rideshare. You have the nights where you'll actually earn more money being out in certain times of the night when Uber's busy. Like when people are eating, obviously being out at that time, you're going to get 1.5 times the delivery to be in that time slot. Yeah, so it was okay. Like there were weeks I was earning 800 going out 4 nights a week for 4 hours. Like, it was okay. Made it anyway. Yeah, so better than night shift. Yeah, I was always complaining. I gotta go to Uber, but Laura's like, do you want to go back and do traffic control at night? I'm like, no, man, we do not want to go back there.
Yeah.
So it was just anyway, that was that. Late 2020, late 22, we started to really think that it was going to be beneficial to start moving towards the nutrition side of things. Obviously, we would stay in our lane, and nutrition obviously has a big part to do with people and their results, but really wanted to be backed and have a diploma or be certified as a nutritionist to really, like, I am a certified nutritionist. This is what we're doing. Like, that sort of title, So I picked up that. That was through Martin McDonald's in Europe. So it is actually recognised as a level 5 diploma in nutritional science. So that's awesome. And at that time, Laura went into the PT. So we decided, I said, look, I think if we really want to move this business forward, you don't want to go back to work. We're going to have to, I really think you should become a PT. Like we started to really love what we were doing. She was doing all the admin stuff, the website, the Instagram, the Facebook. She was doing all that side, the books, running the business from that side. Like I was running all the face-to-face and looking after every client, doing the weigh-ins, doing the results, doing the spreadsheets, doing the graphs, all that shit was me. She was on that other side.
Yeah.
I think, look, Laura, let's do it. You go do your PT course. So we were both studying in 22. Laura already, when she left school, she went to uni and did business management and marketing and stuff like that. So she had a good idea of, so she was pretty good setting up a website and stuff like that. So everything, even when you log onto a website today, it's all made by Laura. That's not made by anyone, which is pretty cool. Instagram's all good. So yeah, 2023 study was complete. And now that's the timeline of that. So now 2023, 24, we both finished studying. Laura's in there now, taking on clients. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's how we came to where we are, like from 20.
That's awesome. Quite a timeline there. So you've obviously
Absolutely.
so you've obviously put in the work yourselves to figure out, how to actually get the results, which I think is important as a PT as well. Like,
Yeah.
like if you don't know how to get the results for your clients, or you haven't been through what they're going to go through,
Yeah.
then it makes it hard to relate to their situation or what they're going through, especially like with people, they get addicted to fast food and emotional
Absolutely.
eating type of stuff. So
Yep. Yep.
that's a huge thing.
Yep.
So for right now, so you're both are you both like full time in the business, or are you like part time?
Yeah. No, we're both full time. So, yeah, we just pick and choose. Like, obviously, if there's more of Laura's clients in the class, like it's not like once they settle down, you know what it's like. Like they're very full on in the first couple of weeks because we're trying to. They're basically, and they've been doing dumb shit for the last 20 years. Like these guys are like their habits are ingrained. Like they have zero. They've been completely on the mindless spectrum. So they've been doing. I don't know what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. Uber, and this is the big thing, man, about Uber. Like this has come to light and only really heavily in the last half a decade. Like we don't need to move. We don't even need to go. We don't even need to get in our car to go and get food now. It just rocks up.
Yeah.
So we're getting even lazier. There's no drinking water. There's no non-essential activity. There's people are getting so lazy and it's in such a bad place. So once that settles down for them in the beginning, then we choose which classes we want to take. If it's more Laura's heavy client of Laura's, she'll do the class. If it's more heavy for me, then I'll take it. Like it's no point her taking 400 and plus guys in a class. I'll do that class, But if it's more majority women or her clients, then she will take that class. But we're always available 24/7 via text, and that's all part of our package that we put together for our clients. So they always have access to us.
Yeah, nice. So like, are you only doing the semi-private, or do you do one-on-one as well?
We have the one-on-one option, man, but you know as well as I do, that's an expensive tier, man. So when they complain about the price for semi-private, I'm like, well, I actually do have a price. I actually do have a bigger package than that. Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I made the transition to do semi-private a couple of years in for that reason. Like obviously I still had the higher tier one-on-one option, but like as you said, people are like, no, I'll just do the cheaper one. That sounds good for me.
Do you have it? Because then they always ask, and you've done plenty of sales calls, man. They're like, have you got anything cheaper? I'm like, well, no, actually I don't, but I do have something more expensive. If you'd like me to go run through that option with you. They're like, oh, no, that first one sounded pretty good. Right, that's what I thought.
100%. So there was obviously a fair few pivotal moments there that you pretty much had to go all in by the sounds of it, which is, in my opinion, where you obviously get the best results because you don't have any other option but to make it
work. Exactly, bro. Yeah.
So I'd love to dive into what it was like when you. I wrote a couple of things down for some pivotal moments. I'd love to dive in, like how the transition was for when you decided to, or actually talk us through like the conversations you were having with your wife about resigning from the traffic control stuff. What was that time like? That obviously would have been a pretty stressful and challenging time.
It was. Look, I think I think what made us do it in the end was that we had enough clients to survive. Like, yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just such a fine line. It was either going to stay like that forever, and it was just going to be, we weren't going to, obviously, if you've always got something to fall back on, then you don't have that, there's not that energy to push forward and just make it work. It's so something's got to go, and we're just going to make it work, man. If I have to go and stand down at Narangba train station with my trolley with business cards like the Jehovah's and talk to people that walk past me to come for a free trial, then that's what it was going to be,
100%.
Yeah. That was where we were heading. Like, I'll go stand on a roundabout. It's like, it's just what we had to do. Go to stalls, drop off pamphlets at the swimming where the kids were doing, drop off pamphlets at, put a community notice board business thing at Coles, Woolies, with the tabs that you pull off. That's what you got to do. You just make it work. And I got leads from doing all that stuff.
Yeah. 100%. It's I think it's like I've had plenty of moments in my business where I had to either just figure it out, just make it work, just had to do whatever you had to do to make it work, because there was no other option.
No.
You had to make it work because you got a family, you got to feed them.
Absolutely, right. And that's what it was. And I think once we came across the Uber thing, that was a game changer. That was pretty good. So we probably did go a little bit backwards. Like, we were good when I pulled the pin on the traffic. I'm like, I'm good. And then like a month later or whatever, we had a bit of a drop off, and we're like, fuck, we're gonna have to do something. Like, so then started seeing ads for Uber. I'm like, I wonder what it takes to be an Uber driver. It's like, piece of piss. I'm like, sign up to Uber, just like automatic, like that day. Oh, actually, no, I did get a criminal check. That took a couple of days.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got that through, I was on the road like that night, like 2 days, boom, making money.
Yeah, I remember, like, I'm sure because you listened to the podcast, when I was an Uber driver. Like, I was just driving around people.
Yeah.
Back when I was a travel agent, worked. I stayed a 9 to 5. Then on the way home, I did Uber for 3 or 4 hours, and then on the weekends, I would study for the PT course.
Yeah.
So literally, this non-stop.
Yeah, hustling, man, and that's what you got to do. That's what you do.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And I think like one of the other things that we talked about before we jumped on this was what made us go the route of like doing this garage. Like, I think, like, I'm 44 this year, and I think I only really started my health journey when I was like late 20s, 28, 29. I was big, man. I was going to start losing this weight. And I think it was more the journey that gave us, like, there was always that thought in the back of my head that maybe I need the experience, maybe I need to get on the gym floor, go to Worlds, work on the hustle a bit, try and find, like, go down that avenue, like you've done, anytime, working on the floor, and I think the niche that I wanted to help, so like 30 to 50-year-old busy men, professionals, don't have time, overweight, type 2 diabetes, like all this niche that I wanted to get into, I was not going to find at World Gym on the floor. No way. There's no way that, like, yes, you're going to find some, and they're going to be there doing the same dumb shit. So that's why I went this way, because that was my niche. My niche was not looking after young 20-year-old guys who want to get onto stage and do bodybuilding and, powerlifting and shit like that. That wasn't my niche, man. I wanted to help overweight men put life back in their years. That's what I need, for their family, because most of the guys coming through here have young kids and they're really overweight, man, like 140 kilo clients I've got at the moment, like, new kids, little family, like, mate, your years are numbered, man. Like, that's who I want to help. That's where my passion is. Yeah,
I think it makes a big difference, especially when you've got that passion. And like, that's a really good example of, a lot of the time your niche is someone who you used to be.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you said you were overweight, and you've obviously got kids and stuff now, so that's probably who you're attracting as well.
Exactly, right.
Naturally,
100%.
what you're passionate about. So I feel like a lot of PTs. I think, like, obviously, I think the stat is like only 80% of PTs actually, like, quit the industry within the first 6 months.
Oh, 100%.
Because I think they just try and help everyone.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, absolutely. And look, sometimes we did that in business, like, and Laura put a stat out here yesterday. What did she say? I think like 70% of leads are female.
Yeah, right.
So I when I first started, I was wanting to help all these men, but I was getting all these females. And because we were trying to make the business survive, I took them on and actually had some very, very, very good results with female, but gave me a lot of confidence, and then made me delve into that area of you know, learning about their menstrual cycle and, you know, diastasis recti, and started to work with mums and stuff like that. So that was good. And we're still, like, probably most of our clients are women. Like, some of them do want to work with me. Some of them now want to work with Laura. And like, moving into that question that you'll ask is, what's it been like since Laura's come on? That's the answer to that. Like, instead of leads coming through where a female would be, I only want to work with a female, like, for example, on Bark, it's like, do you want to work with female or male or both, or you don't care? No. Prefer female, consider male. I'm never going to pay for that lead. I'm not going to pay for that lead. But now, even if it says prefer, like, female only, or prefer female, would consider male, we're applying for that lead like that. And we've got that 50-50 chance now, not 80-20.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm curious to know as well, because I haven't run a business like yours, and I don't work with too many people that do, but I'm curious how you do most of your lead generation. Is it like through Bark, or is it all organic through social media, or like what's
we have had, so just naturally, we've never paid Google, but we're very, very high up on Google. So when people look for a PT in Narangba or Kalanga, Dakaban, Burpengary, this area, like our area within 10 kilometers, the North Lakes of Mango Hill, I've got clients there. Like Deception Bay, we're getting clients. We've got 5 clients from D Bay at the moment. Like, so when we come up and they're looking for a PT, like, we're coming up like really hot, like top of the list, which is good for us. We haven't done shit for Google, so that's good. But yeah, we still dabble in Bark a little bit. But I think the biggest bit of gold, and I can't remember who I heard it from, was own your postcode. Own your postcode. So we started to do pamphlet drops. Now, when you look for a company, which is very freaking expensive, to do a pamphlet drop in your area, they actually find out how many pamphlets they would need to print to deliver to every house in Narangba. So there's actually a number of houses that they know is in Narangba. So there's actually, like, with this Kinmar Valley that's getting built up here behind, on the way between Narangba and Morrifield and Oakey Flat Road, there's a huge estate going in there called Kinmar Valley.
Yeah. But
before that gets built, this is all just still dirt. But as of now, there's 6,000 homes in Narangba. Right? I don't want to be a millionaire. Right? Be nice. And with the future of the business and where we want to lead to, we might, you know, dabble in that one day. But for now, I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to be well into 6 figures, which is cool. We only need 50 clients. So you can't tell me that there's not 50 clients in Narangba all the time.
Yeah.
So we're doing own your postcode. We're doing pamphlet drops 2 to 3 times a year. We're doing the work. So we print out the map. We get our non-essential activity out. We do it in our cutting phase, so we get more steps up, and we do all the work, man.
How good.
And we deliver it out. And by the time we've delivered, and because we're doing it ourselves, you know, 2 days a week, we're probably dropping off between us like 500 to 600 pamphlets every 2 weeks. So, and then the rate that those leads start coming in, it's much nicer to deal with than actually getting a company to drop 3,500 fucking pamphlets like that in 2 days, and the phone's like, oh shit, you don't even know what to do with 50 people like that, man. So with us delivering it by foot, it's actually staggering the areas that we can see where it's coming from. Like, there's certain parts of Narangba that are doing way better for our business than other parts of Narangba. So that's a hot zone. When we have a new pamphlet, that's where we deliver first, because we've been getting good success from that area. Like, there is money pockets in Narangba.
So are you So you would obviously track where you obviously get those leads from, right?
Yeah, everything, man. So we on the pamphlet we've got the hello form. That's the first point of call. They have to go on there and answer. We get an email, get their phone number, how they heard about us, like what area in Narangba they're from. So it's just 8 questions that they have to fill out. Then we get the form in, and then we answer them. We have our process of onboarding through that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing I learned from a lot of people, like even just talking to people on the podcast, is you need to be able to track the data.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah.
You know, without the data, you're going blind.
No, absolutely.
What
Yeah.
works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
But that's super cool though, because like I haven't really shared this, but we even did like obviously my gym was in Burpengary, so the suburb
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But we used to do door knocking and
Yeah.
get people to come in for like a free trial at the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, plenty of people,
Absolutely, bro.
so many
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of how resourceful people are these days.
And
'Cause
look,
I was just a lot of PTs, they always tell me like they always struggle with leads, but I'm like, leads should never be an issue. People
no,
are more overweight than ever before.
absolutely, bro. Yeah. Yeah. And look, this is the pamphlet. Like it cost us $280 to print out 4,000 of them, bro. Like few testimonies. We've always got a new recipe on the back. So even if they did nothing and kept this pamphlet every time, like last month we had or last drop we had a spaghetti bolognese, and then this one we've got a sweet potato brownie. So like you could keep all these every time we deliver them. There's a new recipe on the back.
Yeah, providing more value. I love it.
Yeah, man. Like, and if all they do is just try that recipe and they go, shit, that's actually pretty good. I wonder what else they've got to offer. Like, we've got recipe books, we've got VIP Facebook page where all our community is. Yeah, we've had clients here and I said, like, so how? Because once we get on the sales call, then I ask them again. So you said you heard about us from the pamphlet, but how long ago did you receive the pamphlet? Like, and they're like, man, this pamphlet's been sitting on my bench for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and just looking at me. And then I'm like, you know what? I've had enough, man. So I called your number. Boom.
Oh, how good. That's awesome. Just going to a different part of the pivotal moments
Yeah.
when you both decided to jump into the business.
Yeah.
I'm curious what it's like with the family dynamic because I got 2 kids now.
Yeah.
And so I've got a 2-year-old and a 7-week-old baby.
Yeah.
Well, that's obviously got its own challenges, but how do you guys manage, obviously being full-time in the business, but also, being present with the family?
Yeah. Look, that's the other thing. Back to why we made the decision to try and make it work from home. Like I've got a class, like this is my morning. Tomorrow morning I've got 2 classes. I've got 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. So wake up at 4:15, have a shower, have a quick protein shake, wake up, and then I'll walk down and I open my garage door, turn the light on, open the garage door, set up the equipment, the clients rock up. Like, how good's that?
Yeah.
And then I finish and I walk in and my kids are like, hey, daddy, how are you? And good morning, have breakfast is done, Laura's done all that stuff because I'll do the 2. But it's just huge amounts of communication. Laura normally sits down on Sunday and says, this is all the classes this week. Our clients are always really good. If we've got like one client in one class of 6 a.m. and they're pretty flexible, we'll always ask the question to see if they can move. So we don't need to open up for that session. Like,
yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, it's just like, okay, I'm doing 5 p.m. today. You got to make sure kids are showered, bathed, make sure dinner's on. You're doing dinner tonight. I'm doing the class. When she comes in, we sit down, we eat dinner. It's just huge communication, man. That's all it is. Just preparation on Sunday, finding exactly what we're doing during the week. And then, all right, so you're doing this. I'm doing that. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think a lot of the time it comes down to communication. I've spoken to a few other people that are both partners that in the business, then a lot of the time it just comes down to, who's really good at this, so you do this, and then who's really good at the other stuff, and you do that.
Yeah.
And then like you guys can obviously, you have things that you're both good at, but if you're very clear on who's doing what, as you said, like you're doing this class, you're doing dinner tonight, you're doing You know, you're dressing the kids, you're getting them ready for school or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I mean, there's gonna be challenges still. Nothing ever goes to plan,
No.
but but as long as the communication's there, I think definitely works. How old are your kids these days now?
So my oldest has just turned 11. My middle child is 7.5, and my youngest is just turned 4.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So nice age gaps, and the oldest one's starting to step up now, and take a little bit of. Sometimes me and Laura, if we have a new client that's a bit of a struggle, and like Laura hasn't been doing it as long as I have. Like I'll go in there and I'll push and a little bit more like just experience, man. Like just
Mm.
authority, and I don't put up with shit. Like, so I'll go in there and like push them a bit.
Yeah.
And we both need to be in there, and then Lily will step up and just look after, just make sure the other two are playing nice, just for 25 minutes, just while I'm in. I won't stay the whole class, but I'll come in there for a good majority of at least the compound movements and stuff like that, and just help Laura out. And yeah.
Very good. Love it.
Yeah.
So you've obviously had a pretty epic journey so far. So what's the long-term plan? I know you said you obviously don't want to be a millionaire, but obviously you want to do, six figures or multiple six figures. So
Yeah.
is that the plan long term? You're going to keep the home gym, or are you thinking of doing some stuff online as well? What's the
Yeah. So I think, and also I should write this stuff down where I get this stuff from, but another guy that I follow, his business did a U-turn when he actually started to really zone in on the nutrition side of his clients. Like, he was a one-on-one PT, was working on the floor, had a really good business, really profitable business, but he was always struggling with the clients getting like mediocre results, like, because unless you know how much, until you understand how much nutrition impacts what you're trying to do. Yeah. You and me both know that you can sit on the couch and lose weight,
Yeah.
right? Without exercise. Okay. You don't even have to fucking walk. You can still lose weight.
Mhm.
People don't understand that. I think you have to flog. It's the same journey I had in 2010. I was flogging the shit out of myself, running kilometers and kilometers and kilometers, doing shitloads of cardio, dripping buckets of sweat, because that was the way. And people still think that's the way. That's why you go to Planet Fitness and there's like 50,000 treadmills.
Yeah.
All of them are getting used. It's like, so, and until they come to us and we teach them the best way. And this guy transformed his business, went online and just really, really, really hammered the nutrition. And I think now that I have this diploma, I think we will start to, like, the business is like 80 face-to-face and 20 nutrition, like now, and 20 online.
Yeah.
I think we want to try and reverse that. And the reason I have my online clients, about 15 online clients now, but they're all clients that have passed through here.
Yeah.
And now I look up in their gym spaces, they're reputable gyms, wherever they are, Golds, Fitness Cartel, whatever, Worlds, wherever they are. I write their programs, and they've been clients of mine for years now. Like, I've still got clients here that have been with me for 3.5 years, like, passed through here, dropped all the weight, fell in love with the weights, and then now they're on their own, and they've got their own. I'm writing their program still. But they're out on their own. They leave the nest, and it's a nice thing to see, man. Like,
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a really good transition to have as well. Like, see them face to face, understand the foundations, get the fundamentals right with their form and technique, and then they pretty much only need the structure and accountability.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a really good. Well, it's relatively simple transition as well. Like, and see you end up going online, and then, like, long term as well, then you can pretty much just have the online business if you really wanted to.
That would be the ultimate plan, I would say. Yeah. And you can still put someone on all I want you to do is walk for 30 minutes at a decent pace, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and just look at my guides and watch the videos and of all the content and stuff that I've recorded and what's basal metabolic rate, and educate them around nutrition and what they should be doing when it comes to food in the mouth. And, even if we have to, I have clients daily, because I'm not a huge tracker of calories. I used to be, where I used to get my clients to track, load up MyFitnessPal, send me your username, make your diary public so I can see what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. but since I've done this nutrition and it was very, I would say I'm a holistic nutritionist. It's very evidence-based. It's very science-backed. Yeah. So there's nothing going on that is not scientifically verified. Yeah. So he was a very non-tracker. And I think there's lots of wins we can get before we move to MyFitnessPal. And I think them even sending me screenshots of what they're eating, like everything that touches your lips today, I want to see a photo.
Yeah.
Like my photo library is just full of plates of food and the shit that my clients are eating, because that's the next step. I don't want them to like fall into the trap of then getting a dysmorphia with calorie tracking. Oh, what's in that? Oh, like, and that's what can happen. It's one level to the next, man. You introduce tracking and then they get really, oh, should I be eating that? Oh, what's in that? Oh, well, look it up in MyFitnessPal. What's 1 tablespoon of this? Just like it's that whole habit that you don't want to have in the end.
100%. I see that all the time. I see people when I'm having consults with people, I know I don't want to track food. Like I become too obsessed with what I'm putting in my mouth, and sometimes I'll just starve myself because XYZ that people are saying online or whatever. So it's definitely like I've got a sports nutrition qualification as well, and I don't get anyone to track any food anymore. It's just like you don't need to do massive, super strict things as well to get.
No, it's and that's another thing they don't understand. It's like I have to eat, if I want to lose weight, I've got to do shitloads of cardio and I've got to eat poached chicken and broccoli and brown rice. No, you don't. You just have to watch portion control and you have to just be mindful. As I was talking to you about before with they're coming from a place of complete mindlessness, 100% mindlessness. Not that they don't give a shit, man. They're just unaware. You've got to bring that awareness back to mindfulness. Like when you're standing there and you're like, I'm having Guzman. What are we going to have today? All right. Well, Craig was sitting on my shoulder. And I had this was an example the other day. Like I was in a mad rush. I wasn't supposed to go into the office. The office called me in the morning. I didn't have my overnight oats ready. I had to rush. There's a Guzman right next to work. I had to eat. What am I going to eat? Because she got rid of the bread. She got rid of the rice. She had double eggs, double bacon, and a little bit of avocado on the side. I'm like, beautiful. That's it. That's it. No big greasy 250 calorie wrap. You know what I mean? Like, that's progress for me to see her like to say that to me, and she was really proud. I'm like, that's fucking awesome, because that's progress. That's mindfulness. That's standing there making a mindful decision about what you're doing, not just I'll just get whatever I get normally. It's not. She actually made a decision. Just like looked at it, made the decision. This is what I'm going to do. Boom. Lots of protein. Smack.
How good. That's awesome. And those like small wins over time make
absolutely huge.
So, completely agree. So if people want to find out more about you, my friend, or want to follow you on the socials, where do they? What's your handle? Facebook or Instagram?
Handle would be Focused Health and Body Transformations on Facebook. I think it's focused _health _body _health transformations on Instagram. So quite lengthy on that one, but and then websites www.focusedhealthandbodytransformations.com.
Awesome. I'll put the links in the description. For everyone who wants to check it out, because like obviously I'm based on the north side as well, so people that listen to this are actually on the north side that might want to actually hit you up about some training and nutrition. So thank you for jumping on, my friends. Awesome.
Thank you for having me.